fueling up my car as you do, right?
What rates were you getting?
It was expensive. I think it was like 187, around about that point. Not the best. Nowadays, it's actually not too bad. But anyway, so I see, this is in Brunswick, right? So I see a gentleman come out of the car, and he looked really familiar, right? And he was driving, it was like a nice white Lexus, Western Australian plates. I'm like, who's this dude, man? Who's this guy? Like, I know I've seen him before. It was, Indigenous Australian-looking gentleman, and I'm looking at him. I gave when you give someone a greasy when you're trying to figure out who they are, you kind of squint at him, and he sort of squinted back at me, and I'm like, oh, I better look away, just in case, it's a bit untoward. But anyway, it ended up being Robert Hansen Jr. from North Melbourne. Yeah, the North Melbourne mid-season little draft player.
Just up in Coburg.
That's, up at Brunswick, actually. Brunswick, so 7-Eleven Brunswick. So apologies for giving you a greasy at the petrol station. That's you really shouldn't.
We know he's a big fan of the AFL enjoyers.
Yeah, of course, and maybe that's why he was squinting, because he was trying to
he was trying to work out
what podcast have I seen that guy on? So yeah, but anyway, there's a little
like
story
two
there.
Ships in the night, man. You two,
Yeah,
you could be best friends, and you missed that opportunity.
Look, I'm sure we'll meet again at the petrol station.
Yeah, 100%.
As we're I'm trying to fill up my Ford, and he's filling up his Lexus. You know what I mean? No.
His is probably slightly more fuel efficient.
I'm gonna guess so. Mine's when it's was a 5-liter engine, whatever it is, man. It goes, or 4-liter. I can't remember.
It goes.
Yeah, it goes. Anyway, footy podcast.
How are you, Jim?
Yeah, no, very well, man. Very well. Back at the studio.
Back at the studio, man. Round two.
Round two at the studio, and what was it? 4?
5, bro.
5? Oh, yeah, it was 5.
Time flies when you're having
5 losses
fun.
for North, So yeah, 5. Where was around 5?
Well, actually, special like that you mentioned that, because I actually thought I start the pod today with a new national holiday for Australia.
Okay.
So today is the 15th of April.
Yep.
And I want to say 15th of April is now Are You Okay Day, North Melbourne supporter.
Yeah, the answer's no.
Are you okay Day?
No, not as a North supporter.
Check in with your North fans. With anyone that you know that's a North supporter, check in with them. Ask them how they're doing. They're probably not doing well.
See, this is a dude who thinks about his mates. You know what I mean? Shout out to this Fender.
Just pour out your emotions today, man. I think everyone will relate. All North supporters will relate to your struggles.
I'm a man of few words, so
okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm on a podcast.
I'm sad.
I'm really sad. Yeah, really struggling.
Well, I got a taste of like a little bit of North Melbourne's kind of medicine this week with the loss.
That's true. But anyway, we'll be getting to our game shortly. Thank you for making it Are You Okay?
No problem.
Day for North fans.
I've got some other before you go, man.
Oh,
Before you race.
Look at this.
Before you race away,
I'm
man.
trying to race into it, maybe you.
I don't know if I mentioned this last week, James, but Thursday night football is just a thing now.
Yeah.
When did that happen? I'm not saying I'm against it, but they just never gave the official. They just crept it in.
Yeah.
Well, and now it's just a thing.
Yeah. Well, you know the things, as a Supercoach fan, right? Sorry to bring it up so early in the pod, but like,
your excuse.
Was it 3 minutes in already talking about Supercoach? I don't like it because I got to be more prepared and more, ready to go. And for us, as a content creator as well, that means we have to get the podcast out sooner. If we're not we're recording on a Monday night now. If we record on a Sunday night, all good. But now I'm gonna have to go home, rush to edit this shit. It fucking takes ages, man.
Yeah.
Like I've said the F word there. Sorry, guys. But anyway,
there goes the monetization.
The monetization gone. Damn. No money coming in. And sorry for my little cousins who are watching. Don't swear like cousin Matter,
Uncle
Matter. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not. Do you like Thursday night?
I'm okay with it. I just think it's funny that they just, they've just put it in there, and it's like it's just a thing. It's done.
Yeah, true. No, look, I think it's just more TV. It's for the TV. For the TV.
It does help them space games out a bit easier. So to be honest, it probably is a good thing for the fixture.
Yeah, that's fair.
I got reminded of Lewis Jetta today.
Oh, how'd that come up?
I don't even know. He just popped into my head. I'm like, what's Lewis Jetta doing? Like, what happened to this guy, right? So I type in Lewis Jetta, and I see on on Google a YouTube recommendation. Lewis Jetta kicks his first goal after one ... And I'm like, he kicked a lot of points. So I clicked on the thing. He kicked his first goal after 19 points.
Ooh. That's
19 points he kicked first. That Lewis Jetta back in 2010. And the thing that I found funny about it, and it's not, it's a little bit sad, but 2010. This is 14 years ago. That video came out, and Kelly Underwood was commentating, and I looked at the comments of this video of Lewis Jetta kicking his first goal.
We know where this is going,
and they're all like, "I don't like this girl commentating. What's this? This girl ruined this moment." And like 14 years later, the YouTube comments are still the same thing.
Yeah, I think she commentated Harley Reid's first goal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like this, we're talking about one of the best.
She's been copying shit for a long time. You know,
Yeah.
good on her.
Yeah.
Good on her for fighting through all the hate.
Yeah, well, you know, you can tell she's passionate about it.
Yeah,
at
yeah.
least, you know. So shout out to that.
I just thought it was an interesting kind of like I wouldn't have expected a Kelly Underwood.
I can't believe she's been around for that long. I feel like I've only noticed her the last 2 years.
Yeah, I know.
Like, but she's been around.
Right, Lewis Jetta has to thank her for the lovely commentary.
Well, that's it. Yeah, well, there we go. Lewis Jetta, you better do that, yeah?
You better do it, man.
You better do that, bro. Anyway, do we go into the first game?
Let's do it, man.
Yeah. So the first game was Melbourne versus Brizzy. So 60-82. And look, I think Brisbane, they've brought life into their season, which they really needed to do. Like, led by a huge first quarter from Cammy Rayner.
Yeah.
You know, he's come alive, man. That's you know, finally.
About time, yeah. And what's interesting is I looked at his CBAs. He didn't increase his CBAs percentage this week compared to last week, but
Not
he was
that much.
super like way more effective, like 9 clearances, 6 in the first quarter.
That's huge, man. That's crazy. Like,
They need a guy like him to really exploit it, man. This guy's meant to be Dustin Martin.
well, yeah, it used to
And
be. It
he's-
was the Cam Rayner Cup, man, back in the day, you know, where North Melbourne gave away the first round pick again.
That's right.
You know, ended up with LDU, so we'll take it. But yeah,
Look, he's a good player, but he's always had moments or had little breakout games, but no consistent season. I'd love to see him kind of be a consistent, like, powerful player.
yeah. Well, look, if you have, you know, moments of him being in the guts, along with Neil and Dunkley, already explosive, powerful players. You know, that midfield's it's formidable, but
It is.
They really needed this because that was the first win, yeah.
No, they beat you guys. You blocked it
Oh,
up.
of course, yes. I forgot about that. Does that
You
count?
played him into form, man.
Does that? I know we did, but this is their first game where it's like, all right, we're here, we're
Yeah.
still here, we haven't gone anywhere, we're still, you know, a contender.
It was actually it was close to a complete performance from them at the MCG against Melbourne. They played like amazingly.
Yeah, and you think of how they shut down Melbourne's big boys,
Yeah,
Clary and
Petrarca.
Petrarca. Gone had 50 hitouts, right?
I know.
and they had
I know, bro.
it was like their top 3 midfielders had like, I don't know, 10 clearances between them,
Yeah.
and like 60 disposals.
Well,
it was horrible.
I've got it here.
Yeah.
Petrarca 20 possessions, 2 clearances.
Yeah.
So probably the worst game he's had in years. Oliver 18 possessions and 1 clearance. He's out of form, man.
That's
He's had a bad, like, we know.
Yeah,
of
we
his
know
offseason.
he's fat.
Yeah.
But like, and his finger hurts. But like, you know, he probably needs this buy more than anyone.
Oh,
And
100%.
so does Gorn. Now you think about it, because he's carrying the load massively for the team and for just, you know, the ruck part.
Yeah.
So
Brisbane just absolutely sorted Melbourne. A late comeback from Melbourne made it look a bit more respectable. But they had 25 points at 3/4 time. That's their lowest, like, score that they've at 3/4 time in like 4 years, like some crazy amount.
that's crazy.
So they defensively they were really on Brisbane. They were strong in the contest. They scored goals. They were just really powerful. The Brisbane we expected to come at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Bit delayed, but they're there, and now they're back up in the top 4 contention.
Yeah. I was gonna say, do you still see Melbourne as a top 4 contender?
I think yes,
Yeah.
because they've had a pretty good season. I think Brisbane just, I don't know, man. They came to play. They had a point to prove.
That's true. Anyway, we'll go on to this. This is another interesting one, right? So the Doggies, I think all we can say is Bevo out, man. Like, let's be fair. You're losing to the Dons, who just got smacked by Port, and we thought, man, these guys are, these guys are done. I think they're still done, right? But like, yeah, I don't know, man. These are 2 teams that should make the 8, in my opinion.
What's interesting about the Bevo stuff is he was the obvious coach under fire. We've said it on this podcast even last year.
Yeah,
with
we
the
set it
Bevo
up
stuff.
rough almost from the start of the year.
Yeah.
We're sort of saying, look, if Bevo doesn't start showing stuff with this strong list or appearingly strong list, there's something wrong.
Well, the thing is now it's starting to get a little bit of the public attention. Once the media starts talking about it, the fire starts to really come up. So, look, he just does some weird stuff that is really easy to pick on, like Bailey Dale sub. Surely Bailey Dale is best to start.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. He's a good
Yeah.
player.
I know he was an All-Australian squad, but was he an All-Australian?
I think he's an Australian, yeah, halfback.
Mate, that's like him, Caleb Daniel.
He's
not
out
getting
of
a game.
favour. McRae.
Yeah, and then Sanders getting the sub, which, look,
How pissed did he look?
oh, you know, I swear I said it last week, man, how lucky is Sanders, you know, getting into the Bulldogs midfield, and,
Yeah.
you know, he's playing over McRae and stuff. Maybe not. I take that back. Maybe he's not the luckiest player in this draft. So,
I don't know. Look,
yeah. Look,
They-
to Bevo's defense on that one,
yeah.
Sanders, although he did well and he was using the ball right, he did have like 0 clearances to that point of the game,
Yeah.
which is not what you want from your inside mid. But there were I understand there were players that were worse. Like Gallagher was doing nothing. What's his name? The guy who the commentators loved last year. Baker. Baker was just, he's such a great complimentary piece that they picked up. That type of player. Right?
Yeah.
He was butchering everything. Like there was other options.
There was, and the thing that made it interesting is the fact that the Dons smashed them out of the middle, right? Like Bontempelli had one of his worst games he's had like in his career.
Tim English as well.
Tim English, shocking. Libba was doing a lot of work, and then he got concussed.
Collapsed.
Yeah.
That was
at the end of the game, right?
Yeah. And another like questionable thing about Bevo is that he came out and was like, "Oh no, he just tripped. He just tripped, bro." Like when they asked about him in this press game conference, unless maybe just Bevo wasn't briefed.
Maybe he was defending the decision to keep him out there.
Perhaps, or maybe he just didn't know. Maybe he didn't know that there was concussion, like an actual concussion issue there. I don't know, but
I just think it's. I mean, the Dons had to respond from the shellacking they got last week,
and they did. Yeah, which is good on them. Look, there are positives that of course they won a game, right? But Dersma is looking like a player for them.
He probably had his best game for Essendon.
I feel like he's had a few good games in a row. Like he's stringing it together.
He is. He's starting to get the ball a bit.
A few celebrations, which is nice to see.
Yeah.
To an
he
extent.
added the John Cena, I think.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't notice the John Cena actually.
I think he added the John Cena.
Yeah, I like that. Jamal Murray. That's from NBA.
Is that what he does?
That's Jamal Murray. When he hits a three, Jamal. Like a clutch three.
Well, Dersma, he kicked a big goal and he celebrated, which was good. The other one is Durham.
Yeah, he's a beast, man.
Well, what's interesting about him is like Heppel and Merritt were asked about like who they thought was going to be like the breakout player for Essendon, and they said Sam Durham, and he's starting to show that. Like, he's
like moving from the wing into the guts.
Yeah.
It feels like a good move because he's a powerful unit and he's quick as well. So
I like him. I mean, in terms of the game, it was a bit of like a seesawing contest at the start. Like you're not really sure who's really taking a hold. And then like Essendon just broke out and like it just looked like it was one-way traffic for the rest of the game. So Dogs couldn't stop the momentum. It kind of looks like it's Bontempelli and Libba or bust.
Yeah.
The only like Jamara looks really good though.
Yeah, he was their best.
Those
player.
one-handed marks,
man.
He's playing basketball out there.
Yeah. To think that like actually no, North wouldn't have had him, but like because he was another dude. He was pick one, AFL Academy stuff. They've been handed all these dudes, man. Like they've been handed this dude.
They got some nice tools. Like Sam Darcy, he's starting to play consistent football.
Two father sons.
Rory Lobb ain't getting back in this team.
Nah.
Not for Darcy.
Yeah, look, Darcy's been like he pops in for goals, and he's way better a ruck than what Rory Lobb is. He actually looks good around the ground.
He does.
He might be the top 3 or 4 ruck in the next couple of years. I think as his body matures and he gets stronger, prodigious talent.
He is definitely.
So,
we'll see. The Dogs are a bit of a watch. I think they're going to be the story this week. If they keep I would not be surprised if Bevo's out by mid-season. If they don't perform, the pressure will mount and mount and mount in the public, and then they'll be forced to make a response.
One thing I do want to just say before we move on from that game, right? So I got a little prediction here from Dino, right? Obviously, so basically said a year after that Bevo gets sacked. So whenever that might be, whether it's this year he gets sacked, the next year he gets sacked, whatever. He reckons the next year after that, the Dogs will make a prelim.
Look, I kind of like it. You see that when a coach just gets changed, there's usually a bit of momentum where the team starts to play. And it's usually around, like, if Bevo's looking at changing up the squad, looking at their future, all right, we can't play McRae because he's the same look, or we can't play Daniel, he's not in our best 22 anymore. If a new coach comes in, he probably puts McRae back in the midfield. He puts Daniel back in, and they start to perform because the mature players are playing. So I think it's easy to get a quick response. In terms of like a full preseason under a new coach, I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised because they do have a lot of pieces.
Yeah, that's the thing. The consensus is that the list is good. Like that's like general. Like, unless we've just been overrating these dudes, because they score well in Supercoach.
Yeah, well, that's right.
They get a lot of maybe we really just overrate them.
They get a lot of the ball, right? But what's their bottom kind of end like? Like, what's these small forwards like these Scots, these type of players?
They need players like Riley West and Vandermeer.
These types.
Those
are they any
dudes,
good?
Look, sometimes like I think the week prior they had they had a decent game, and all of a sudden it's like, all right, it's these guys that we need to get it, stuff out of. But they're not going to do it every week.
No,
you can't. They're not reliable. But yeah,
I think it's hard for them to. I think they're trying to figure out this year who's kind of in their future, because you've got players like Johannesson who still seems like he's a good player. He's getting halfback role. Ed Richards is getting halfback role at the cost of Bailey Dale. So I actually think if you're an opposition team, you're looking at the Bulldogs and you're going to pinch some of their players.
Yeah, well, we have to ask the question.
You've got to ask the question.
Bailey Dale, fringe, yeah, we'll take him.
I'm interested.
Mate, Carlton, he'd be great for Carlton. Man.
He would be great for Carlton, yeah.
McRae, I'll take McRae at North, just help out that young midfield.
He'd go anywhere and be successful.
Yeah, because he's got a bit of inside and outside as well. I think people underrate his ability, to be the dude who's kicking into the 50.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I don't understand how you cannot play him, to be honest. But anyway, he did all right. So
it was fine.
Yeah, it was a modest game for his standards, for his lofty standards.
It was modest, but I mean, they lost in the midfield.
That team was modest.
Yeah,
they really shouldn't be. But anyway, this next one, right? Cheeky GWS on the Saturday. First game on the Saturday. Look, it started off with in the first 10 minutes, Sam Taylor getting our boy over here, Sam Taylor, getting just clattered. That did not look good, man.
No.
And the game stopped for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
man.
I know.
Like, and I was at that point, I'd slept in, so I was watching the game in bed. And then as soon as that happened, I'm like, I'm gonna have to get up and make a coffee. While this is happening, I literally had to get
coffee
up.
break, bro.
Coffee break during that.
At Sam Taylor's expense.
Thanks, Sam, for allowing me to get a coffee. But that sucks for him. It seems like he's all right though. He went straight to hospital.
Reports that it's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that game, look, I wanted to not watch the whole game because, I was expecting GWS to just fly away with it, right?
Yeah.
But then the Saints just kept on coming on, and hey, man.
I feel like the Giants were firmly in charge of this game. But then the last quarter happened, the Saints kicked 6 in a row.
Yeah, well, look.
And they got the last clearance as well. And it was just intercepted by, I think, Peatling.
Yeah, that mark. It was a great mark. That was Leo Barry.
That was a courageous mark, man.
Oh, yeah.
From the wing.
Yeah. So, and he was the sub for, I'm pretty sure as well. So, he came in and he did his part. It's interesting, the Jack Steele versus Tom Green. Who would have thought Jack Steele, Dino's favourite, goes in there and dominates who everyone's been frothing. Yeah. Everyone's been frothing Tom Green. And for a good reason, but I think he's beat up on, poorer midfielders to start. Like he versed Collingwood first, in the first round.
Yeah.
Meh. Midfield-wise. Midfield-wise, they're pretty
and they weren't in form either.
And not in form. So, and then he beat up on West Coast. He beat up on North Melbourne. Didn't have as great a game against Gold Coast. But then, this game, Jack Steele shows, hey, I'm here, and you still got to step up. You still got to take the title of, dominant inside mid. You got to take that away from me, man. I still got this.
Well, so, I think you're right. I mean, Steele's in unbelievable form. He's easily, is he top 3 mid in the comp at the moment?
I'd say so. Form-wise for sure, man. Yeah.
Surely.
The thing is, you don't realize about him because you think of him as, the in and under type dude who gets a lot of tackles, but his usage going forward is excellent as well, man.
Yeah,
so many times he's the last one kicking into the 50 and he's just pinpointing people, which I didn't think that was, a strong part of Steele's game, but it is.
I think he reminds me a bit of Heaney, not necessarily as a player, but Heaney looks so fresh and he suddenly can't do any wrong. And
and that's what Steele's doing. Exactly, man.
You compare Steele's last 2 years where he's kind of like, what is this guy? Like, what's happened to him?
Yeah, he's looking a bit slow.
He's a completely different player. So when you're fit and when you're confident in your body, you're getting space, you're clean, everything just works for you. So he's a beautiful player. He's a beautiful man.
He's a beautiful man. He's a beautiful man. Another beautiful man who really helped my Supercoach team was Rowan Marshall. He dominated.
Bro, how many? 16 clearances.
Was it 16 in the
16, man.
Oh my God. Yeah, he you wouldn't think that you'd be able to do that against like a Briggs.
Yeah.
But then maybe that's just the state of their midfield is Steele, a bunch of other guys, right?
Yeah.
Like who's their next best midfielder? Like after that.
Crouch
is not playing. Crouch has been out. He says he's out for another month, right? Then it's like Jack Sinclair pinch hits, Windhager, Seb Ross, they're all sort of solid dudes.
Zach Jones.
Zach Jones. I don't even know he played that game, right?
Yeah.
So it's like Marshall's forced to, be another midfielder, and he's doing it all right.
It didn't help them. I'm not sure how many of those hits to advantage were in the last quarter, and maybe that helped with them kicking goals. But at the end of the day, his dominance didn't necessarily help him in the first 3 quarters. So
no, it didn't. Well, I feel like
the thing is, if he's dominating, right, then the GWS players can just start sharking his hits if they expect him to get it.
True, and that's what the Brisbane guys did to
Gorney.
Yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, well, look, GWS, I think it's a bit of a wake-up call for them, to be honest with you. Like, I think, they put the foot off the gas pedal. They're probably rattled a bit by the Sam Taylor thing, rattled by the Cogs going down. Cogs looked bad.
Yeah.
Like that.
Apparently he's okay as well.
Yeah, apparently he's probably going to play next week. So, but no, I think it's like a short-term injury. So maybe they were a bit rattled. But look, I think they're not the dominant, week in week out beasts that we thought they were. So
well, I mean, they're undefeated. They're undefeated.
Yeah, but vulnerable though.
Any team I think is vulnerable if they put their foot off the pedal. So 100% they showed that in the last quarter. And Saints can still play some good footy, but they haven't beaten. I don't think they've beaten. They haven't taken a scalp. They haven't beaten a really good.
This
team.
would have been the scalp.
This would have been.
This would have been huge.
Would have been crazy.
Couldn't quite manage it.
Max King also injured for the Saints.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge. I
don't think it's that bad either. But a couple of could have been really bad injuries in this game.
True, man.
Imagine Sam Taylor's gone for ages, Canigle's gone for ages, Max King's gone for ages. Yeah. Write him off, bro.
Yeah, that game would have been
the massacre.
I know, it's a slaughter that game. Slaughterhouse. What's it called? Anyway, this next game. I'm gonna let you
Oh, that's so generous of you.
Yeah. Tell us your experience.
Mate, that was a frustrating loss.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was so frustrating. Look, I think you can lose in 2 ways. You can lose to a better team and you're clearly dominated on the game and you're like, look, they're just better than us.
Yeah.
And they're not as sad or as frustrating as losses. Every loss sucks.
That's every loss for North. The team was just better than us.
Yeah. So you can kind of accept that, right?
Yeah.
In this instance, Adelaide was not better than us, man. Now, they were much improved, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But to be 16 points up in the last quarter and have the game under control with a team that has been really good at controlling final moments, to bottle it so hard with unforced errors.
Yeah.
In many instances, for example, dropping a mark on the boundary line, uncontested, and then Fogarty picks it up. It didn't even go over. Picks it up and kicks it to someone in the forward line, and they kick goal. Always running into goal and kicking the ground and missing everything. Missing, not even kicking a point, which could have slowed the game down. So many instances like that. And to lose to Sam Berry of all people, kicking a goal in the final. You could just, I was like a volcano after the game. I was steaming. But look, at the end of the day, very frustrating loss. Carlton never really got going though that game. And look, you think about the odds of Adelaide going 0-5 and Carlton going 5-0. They're slim.
Yeah, so it's almost like, you know what? If you look at it that way, where it's just you guys are 4-1? Sorry,
4-1 now.
Right now.
Yeah,
it's sort of
general picture. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's actually good.
Yeah, no, you'd be very happy.
But looking at the isolated game, you're like, boy, how did we lose that? But anyway, a little bit about the game. Carlton, so a couple of bad things for Carlton, Chera laid out, and they played Pitt in it, which was interesting.
Yeah, I don't...
And I think the lack of run really cost us against Adelaide. They transitioned the ball way better, way better than they have all year.
Yeah, because that hasn't been their game. They've been stagnant.
In the
midfield.
Right?
So.
And they had a lot of uncontested marks or marks inside 50, which way more than they've had this game than combined of their games.
Probably
way better.
Yeah.
I think they killed us a bit off turnover and had some space in the forward line, so good on them. Rankin in the midfield.
Yes, I was going to say that.
So everyone's been talking about Adelaide, same old players in the midfield. They finally put Rankin in there. He had 20 CBAs, 20 centre, and still kicked 3 goals. Dominant. We just didn't have a matchup for him. And with Sard hamstring, McGovern hamstring.
Yeah, I think that's a big one, man.
That's huge,
Because
man.
he's someone who can help control games with his just ability to just take that contested mark, slow it down.
Yeah.
And he usually uses it pretty well.
He does.
As well. So
Put that along with Sard, who's like a weapon. Chera laid out with a hamstring. We've got Jack Martin and Motlop with hamstring. What's happening with the soft tissue out of nowhere?
I don't know, man.
I'll tell you, there's nothing worse than losing a game and also having injuries to key players. Like, there's nothing to hang your hat on.
Nah.
And
Look,
now-
if you're going to hang your hat on something, right?
Tell me.
It was 14-14 to 16-4, right?
Yeah.
So obviously you guys had more scoring opportunities. Bad kicking's bad football, as
That's
they say.
true.
But at least you can say, hey, like on another day, you get a bit more lucky, and that's, a 3-4 goal win.
Look,
You know
we
what I mean?
we did a lot of things wrong and we lost by 2 points. So that's kind of one of the things that makes it frustrating that it's a loss. But
Yeah.
you've got to move on. I'll tell you, let me ask you this question though, right?
Yeah.
I've got a note. There's a player that plays his grand final every year against us. He does pretty much nothing. Like he has some okay moments here and there, but
Yeah.
he's not great. But every time he plays Carlton, he dominates us. Who is it?
What? Not Sam Berry. We've already
No.
mentioned Sam Berry.
No. Adelaide,
for Adelaide.
Adelaide forward / kind of winger.
Oh, Fogg.
No.
Tex.
No. Even though he played it.
He played
Ben
one.
Keys.
Yeah, actually
Ben
true.
Keys plays his grand final against us every year. He destroys us, man.
Was he like a Carlton supporter growing up?
I
What's the
don't
go?
know. It just him and his perfect hair piss me off, mate.
Yeah. Have you seen like you a Pokemon fan? You're not,
Not
really,
really.
But there's a Pokemon called Pidgeot. And have you seen Fan Footy, the symbol? The
Yeah.
symbol on Fan Footy for him? It's that.
Oh,
I'm
is it?
gonna show you just so you can appreciate how perfect of a comparison it is, right? But like, here, give me a sec. Bleh. Oh, there we are.
Oh, that's hilarious.
How perfect is that?
That is hilarious.
Like the perfect main, just straight through the center.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, there you go, mate. Keys is Carlton weakness.
He actually is, though. Now, a couple other things, now that I mentioned the Keys, that came to
Yeah.
my head, right? Keys destroyed us last year as well at Gather Round. Adelaide beat Carlton, and it started, that was the beginning of the end for Carlton, and it started like a 6 or 7 game losing streak from the Adelaide game. Now, we've just lost to Adelaide again.
Who you guys have the next few weeks?
Bro, this is the thing. Now it starts hard. We've got GWS, we've got Collingwood, we've got Sydney, we've got Geelong, we've got the Suns. So we've got injuries now, and we're coming into the big boys. If Adelaide kicks us off, and we start losing games again, it's like a
Yeah.
complete mirror match of last year, because even though Carlton's been winning, we won a couple of games at the start of the season last year, not playing our best footy. We've won games this year, not playing our best footy. Now we come up against Adelaide, they beat us, and then it starts to get difficult.
Yeah, like you're actually just about right. GWS, Geelong, Collingwood, D's, Sydney,
Oh, wow.
Suns.
Yeah.
Suns is at home, so but then Port, and then Essendon,
Okay, finally. Okay, we'll win one
and
of
then
those.
Geelong,
Again?
and then Richmond. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so we're going to find out. It's actually quite exciting. We're going to find out a lot about the Blues.
Yeah, well, exciting for these supporters. Exciting for the players. It should be as well. They should embrace this.
I think they will.
Yeah.
Good to see Sam Walsh come back and be the best player on the field instantly.
Yeah, true. Nah,
Bro, no preseason games, comes in round 5 when everyone's warmed up, and he's still the best player.
he was dominant, man. What was it like? It was like 13 tackles and 35 disposals, something crazy like
Yeah,
that.
34 disposals, 13 tackles, 8 or 9 clearances. I think the meters gained high.
Most traded in player in Supercoach.
He might be.
Yeah. Look, I'm looking. I'm looking.
I'm
I'll tell you
looking
that
as
much.
well.
But yeah. Look, yeah. There we go. He's had his grievances, and it's probably. Is it my turn yet? Nah. It's not. One sec. I gotta adjust the filter because I've filtered it to just Carlton games, but I need everyone else's games now
You
onto
do.
the list, right? And this next one, I don't think we need to talk. There's 2 games at the same time that were played. Don't really need to talk about the Hawthorn Gold Coast game too much, do we?
No.
Yeah.
Are we not hard enough on the Hawks?
Look, the thing is,
They sometimes play good football. That's their problem.
that's the thing. Like, I want to just rule them out.
Yeah.
I just want to rule them out. And Sam Mitchell made some quotes, that he's very disappointed. Like, we can't compete with this type of footy. But I don't get how it's happened, to be honest with you, because Newcomb out of nowhere has become meh. Whereas he looked like a beast coming into this season.
Yeah.
But he just hasn't. he just goes missing, and that's so there's him, there's Warple, and they're similar type players.
Warple has had an okay year.
Yeah, Warple's been fine, but
Yeah.
can they coexist? Is that the issue?
Well, who else are their midfielders? They got young kids. They got like Mitchell,
Joel Ward,
Josh Ward.
Josh Ward. Yeah,
McDonald is a good winger, but
Yeah.
they had no ball. Those midfielders had no ball.
No, are they missing Will Day that much? Like he comes back in a couple weeks.
He'll make a difference.
Yeah, but I don't think he's like this huge.
He's not a Hulk.
Nah, he's not. Yeah, he's more like got that sort of Pendle type class.
Who they have? They have Connor Nash as well. They just
Mitch Lewis is out.
Mitch Lewis is
out.
forward.
He's a forward. No, I'm saying he's out. I'm just mentioning that.
Okay.
Connor Nash is he too similar maybe to Nuke and Warple, just inside bruising type.
It's not a very inspiring midfield, is it?
Nah. It makes me feel a lot better about our
Juxtapose it to Gold Coast, where they've got Rao, Anderson, Miller,
I know.
Flanders.
Miller on basically any other team is like 90% CBA, but for the Gold Coast, he's like 60.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that just shows how. And they put Sam Flanders. They're playing him half back because they can't fit him in the guts, and he's doing great.
How
he's
crazy
doing
is that
great.
though? Who McGuinness was like forward tagging Flanders, and Flanders got like 35 possessions.
Yeah, McGuinness is just like if that's what he's doing, he's a VFL player, mate. You can't hang your hat on that one game against Dacos, man. The game where you injured him.
You actually can. There was a Carlton player, and I actually forgot his name, but he tagged. I think it was Aaron Joseph. Years ago, he tagged Gary Ablett, and he smashed him one game, and he hung his hat on that. Like he got a career at the time out of that one game that he beat Gary Ablett.
Did he go to like West Coast the year after?
I don't think so, bro.
I might be thinking. I'm thinking of Kane Lucas.
Oh, Kane Lucas. No, he sucked.
He definitely sucked.
He sucked.
Yeah.
Don't remind me of our terrible drafting.
Yeah. You had another little tag. I remember Carazzo. Was he a tagger as well? Am I imagining it?
Yeah, he was. And Carazzo was fine. He was a good player.
He was good. He was solid, man. He was solid.
But he used to have that ball drop where he dropped it. Like, you know how players guide the ball down?
Yeah.
Carazzo would just like drop it with both his hands.
So it just made him look like a nose kicker still.
Yeah, he looked like a nose kicker, but the ball went to where he wanted most of the times.
Yeah, no, he was solid, man. The old carrot. But yeah, look, shout out to Gold Coast and their like second game players, right?
Yeah, Clohesi
is crazy.
He's
bro.
cracked, man.
He, like the two goals that he scored were both stunners, right? And then the other guy, Graham, is just
how many tackles, bro?
I lost count.
You can't count over 14.
No, exactly. No way. He looks great in there, man. Like the pressure's good, the tackling's good, but also he hits targets as well. It's like he can make the simple pass, which is what you need. You can't just have someone who's just a bullocking inside guy.
No.
So mate,
they're in good shape. I reckon they'll make the 8.
They should. Yeah. They should. This is their best chance.
Apparently they've got North twice and West Coast twice as well.
Oh man,
that
AFL have just
that's a gift. That conspiracy.
They're trying their very best to get him into the 8. But yeah, we'll move on for that one. I think there's enough time there. Port and Fremantle, another one to the wire. Another one to
Poor
the wire.
Bastards. Poor Freo, man.
I don't know, man. It sucks. I like Freo, man.
Do you?
I kind of do. Something about him, man. I like
the purple haze.
The purple haze, man. I like their hustle. I like their players, man. Like more than their game style, I like their players because I got them in Supercoach.
Who are your favorite boys?
Favorite boys from these teams, or just
from Freo?
From Freo. Right now it's Ryan because I got him in Supercoach. But yeah, probably Sarong just above that.
Sarong's pretty cool.
What's that?
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Man. One of my favorite Freo. I don't think he was playing. Nathan O'Driscoll, man.
Oh, old Drizzy.
Drizzy. He's a talented player. I don't know if he's injured or why he's not playing. I like him.
Yeah, he has been injured, but I don't know if they're just getting him back in or what the go is there. Tough team to break into as well, man. You got to think
surprisingly.
About it. Yeah, he's like Chapman.
Heath Chapman is
where's he at?
He's fit now.
Okay, so he should come in soon.
I think he'll come in soon.
But Jeremy Sharp's he's held down that wing role. You know what I mean? So
Chapman, does he play half back?
I think he plays a bit of wing. I've heard that he's going to be playing on the wing.
Oh, right.
You know, and maybe he's going to be one of those wingers that sort of comes back. And because they love players that come back. You know what I mean? They love defenders, mate. But yeah, any thoughts on the game?
Look, Freo, it's kind of the same story. They played like a this type of brand of footy that keeps it close and tight, but they're struggling to score. And so it just keeps teams in it. And then, like, Port was just clutch enough to kick a couple of goals with some, like, Charlie Dixon had a great moment, even though he got smashed by Pearce. Jason Horne-Francis had his moment. Butters had his moment.
Yeah.
And they just managed, like, they're a good team, obviously, Port, and they managed to find a way to win in the final moments. But they only kicked 60 points each, man. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, Port, Freo were in control of the game, you could say, but they're not in control of the game if it's only 9 points, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
So if they're 25, 30 points up and their dominance has led to that much of a lead, then they can kind of hold on to it. But if they're fighting to stay in it, and it's just still a tight margin, a team can come back.
So you reckon just the lack of scoreboard pressure? You can have all that dominance on the field, but no scoreboard pressure.
I think so. I think that's the area of their game that's their weakness. They've got the defensive side. They've got a strong midfield. Their backmen are firing.
Yeah.
Just their forward line. Like, Tracy kicked a couple of goals.
I think he had 3. So he had a big game.
Yeah.
He did very well.
He had a big game. But, like...
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you can't really rely on him. Can't rely on Walters every game. He'll have the occasional, like, 4 or 5.
But he's old, man.
But he's old. So you're going to get that once every month or two.
It's a serious weakness of their team. So look, they'll work on it.
Yeah. Well, look, they're gonna have some money to splash. There's a Western Australian over at Sydney, McDonald. So maybe they just go, hey, we have 3 first-round picks. Do you want 2 of them? You know what I mean? You know.
Do you think that's what they need to do, Freo?
Yeah. Why not? Why not? If they have good players on every line, right? Because I think they do. The midfield is very good. I think, when it comes to, like, young core midfields, right? Brayshaw, Young, Sarong, that matches up with most teams in the AFL.
With Jackson as well, right? As a rock,
and Darcy. So, like, you know, maybe they have to throw. Actually, you know what? Maybe that's what they need. They need Darcy to come back so Jackson can impact as a forward more.
I don't think he's a good forward.
I don't think he's that bad as a forward. Like, I think he's probably not.
He's not as good as he is a ruckman, though.
No, as a ruckman, he's great. But I don't know. Can you imagine, though, if you have Jackson as a forward who is more dynamic and can run, and then you have McDonald who's he can clunk a contested mark. I can see how that would work.
Yeah.
You know, and then the defense is fine. You know, Pearce has reinvigorated himself a little bit. I kind of thought he was sort of done.
Same.
To be honest with you, because of the injuries and this and that. But he looks good now. Ryan is just chopping off everything and, you know, sprinting as quickly as he can so he can get to the kick in. You know, so shout out to him for that. So there's something there still. But I guess Port are just ahead in their development as a team.
Look, Port will just take the win and move on, and they're doing
be like,
yeah, pretty much, just like Carlton last week. So, but yeah, like Port are doing well. I still think they'll do some damage this year. Port, they haven't really done anything wrong, I don't think.
Yeah, they've been solid, man. Where do they sit right now? They're third. They're third.
They've won 4 games, yeah.
4 games. There's them, Sydney, Melbourne, and Carlton have won 4 games.
Yeah.
So it's pretty tight up at the top, which I guess makes sense early in the season. But yeah, the next game. So we'll move over to the that one.
You know what? My notes for Geelong versus North is just lol.
Lol. No, fair. No,
That's
you know
all
what?
I've written, bro.
That's fair. So I was watching that game with Dino.
Yeah.
So, you know, the frustration from both of us just like the reason why it's bad, and like you don't mind losing to a team like that, right? But when your best players week in, week out are the young guys.
Yeah.
I probably said this last week. Do I need to go into this again? But Jai Simpkin and Luke McDonald, the 2 captains, who else? Fisher wasn't as bad in this game, but can you just make the 10-15 meter kick? And if you can't, just smack it down. You know what I mean? Just whack it, and not so we don't have to face these goals off turnovers every week. It's embarrassing as fans. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
And beyond that, there's little moments of just lack of footy smarts, lack of taking responsibility. Like they don't go in and kill balls so they can rush it behind. There's just little things. There's lack of just intensity, man.
Yeah.
It's frustrating, man. LDU, here's the rocket for LDU. He hasn't been anywhere near what he was last year.
No.
And that's frustrating on its own because Sheasel has done He's been excellent. He's beyond what he was last year, right? He's a freak at the moment, right?
Yeah.
We need dudes like LDU to be up there with him because otherwise we're just not going to win games.
No.
We might not win a game this year.
You win one. Though. It's rare not to win any, but yeah.
We do have Hawthorn next week.
That's your grand final.
It is. I think, in this game, I think LDU, She's in the middle. Like, have him in the gut so we can impact the game, more. Because apparently Hawthorn's midfield is their weakness. So here's our chance to expose that with our best talent.
Yeah. What about Colby? He's injured?
Yeah, he did his ribs. They haven't said whether it's going to be a long term or they think he could play next week.
Oh, okay.
So,
that's good.
because it sucks. Sucks that he ended the game so quickly because, I love watching him, man.
Yeah. You want him out there.
He's very zippy, good kick. So, yeah. The only positives I could probably take out of this game are Charlie Common. Looks great. Looks just composed. He's brave. He goes for marks and he finishes marks as well. He's not just the spoiler. If he sees that he can take a mark, he's going to clunk it, right? Maybe we need that up forward, perhaps. I don't know. But I don't know. We'll see how we go. Maybe this is his opportunity to just get that more confidence. And then if we get, a couple more defenders, we can chuck him back up there.
Yeah.
But Biggie Nyon looked all right, but then he had a couple huge clangers towards the end of the game where I'm just like, bro, what are you doing, man? He was just biting off a bit too much than he should have,
What do you make of Stevenson's mission?
Good.
He's, not good, huh?
Yeah, he's meh. He's meh.
It's so crazy because when in 2018, he was like Collins' best player.
Legit.
He was so dominant in the forward line.
Yeah. Look, I don't know why he can't do that right now, but I think he had a very defined role of leading forward. You know what I mean? It was almost like he was playing the Jamie Elliott role that Jamie Elliott does now, where he just leads up, gets a little mark, pinch hits with a couple goals. And it probably looked better because he was a rookie, right? Whereas now, he's just a skinny bloke who doesn't put enough forward pressure on, firstly. Drury looked better than he did, is what I'll say that, he's a twos player. He's a twos player. Core, probably a twos player.
Takes a long time, man.
It does. It does.
Just on Geelong, 5-0. What a start to the season.
Yeah, I did not expect that at all, man. Did not expect that at all.
Neither did I. Look, anyone looks good against North, but Jeremy Cameron's a very good player.
That's an astute observation.
Very astute,
Georgie.
I don't know what else to say about them though, but
yeah, look, no, there's not much. There's not much
they
to say.
Took that percentage and they just ran.
They ran with it. Look, the thing I will say is that they've managed to have a decent enough midfield with no superstars. I'll say Dangerfield's out, but Parfitt's come in and been solid.
He's been good, yeah.
He's taken really the responsibility of making those tackles, getting in and under. Didn't really think he had that in him, but he's been just a fine piece because they lost Guthrie as well early in the season.
He's back soon, Guthrie.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's a one to bolster them up a little bit.
And they've tried to play Holmes off the half back, which is interesting because I would have thought he'd have a mainstay role in the midfield, but obviously they need some drive.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they don't really have that much pace other than him in the back half, I would say. Mitch Duncan's not particularly quick. No. Stewart is quick for his, for the type of player that he is quick.
Yeah.
Other than that, they're all kind of Henry's not quick. Jasny not quick.
No.
DeConning not quick. Yeah. So it's probably better that he's back there.
Yeah,
probably a good fit. But
you're right, they don't have a lot of running defenders, do they?
No.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Bose, he's not that quick.
No,
he's actually been alright, giving them a bit of something, So he's not quick either. So
they'll be alright, Geelong.
Yeah, the kids will be alright.
They'll be alright.
But yeah, this next game, bro, mate, Jake the Snake Waterman, mate, Jake the Snake Waterman. That was, mate.
There was some interesting commentary around Jake the Snake.
Yeah, Jake the Snake injecting the venom, the poison of Richmond. That was. I was listening to SEN. That G'd me up so much, man. I love that.
Every now and then you get some commentary. You're like, oh shit, that was actually good.
Yeah, no, that one I'm gonna hold on to for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that one was really good.
He had
6 goals, man.
6 goals. look, Richmond should be ashamed. They let a player like Waterman destroy them.
Look, I actually think he's a solid dude, man. You look at his frame.
Yeah,
Dude's broad-shouldered.
he is.
You know what I mean? And he's not slow. You know, I feel like he's a player who they've played out on the wing because he's got a bit of agility for his height, and he can take can clunk a mark.
I think he's always been skillful, but he hasn't really done anything in his career.
Mate, he's arrived.
He's arrived.
Mate, I'm wet for Waterman, mate. He's here. He's here to stay. But not just him, mate. But Elliot Yeo, all of a sudden, he's the best midfielder in the comp.
Bro, he's a mate. Look, that's what happens when you're fit, man. Like you got to see a player at their full potential. I mean, how many clearances he had? He had 15. 15.
Yeah, look, this is against a depleted Richmond. Like, this is a VFL midfield right now.
Let's
be fair.
But he's been good all year, yo.
He has.
He's come up against even Sydney and dominated. And they've got a killer midfield.
Yeah, true.
So he's been amazing. Yeah. Good on him.
Harley Reid.
Harley Reid. You know the thing that annoyed me about this Harley Reid situation, right? Harley Reid's a gun, right? And I'm happy that he's backed up last week and he got Rising Star this week.
Yeah, deserved.
But the whole commentary of like Harley Reid coming up against Dusty just annoyed me.
Really? I liked it, man. I was G'd up for it.
It's just like, it's so typical. But this is the thing that gets me, right? Harley Reid, I can't wait for Harley Reid to give the don't argue to Dusty. Can't wait for it. And then you can just tell the cameras are waiting for the moment to happen so that they can post it everywhere.
Yeah.
And Harley Reid gives Dusty like the smallest don't argue and they capture it and they put it everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and he fell over while he was doing it.
Yeah, it's like, come on, AFL. Like, it's so obvious what you're trying to do. Like, wait for it to properly happen. You know what I mean? So I was just like, so typical AFL. Apart from that, he's a great player.
Yeah, I think he's gonna retire Dusty, mate.
Do you reckon?
Dusty can be like, look, I don't need this. I don't need this kid making a name on me. So I'm out.
He's going to Gold Coast.
Yeah, he's going to Gold Coast. True. He's going to West Coast just so he doesn't get don't argued by him.
Yeah,
just to he's like, if you can't beat him,
he's like, oh, the rebuild's over. They've won a game.
That's it, man. They're back.
Time to jump on the bandwagon. They won a game before North and Hawks, so
yeah.
Would you have tipped that at the start of the season?
No. But look, I guess without looking at the fixture, I wouldn't have guessed it. Right? I wouldn't have guessed it.
Yeah,
but maybe looking at the fixture, that our fixture sucks. Right. The only games I think we could have won with the Freo game was the easiest game prior to the season. Like looking at but then they became good. So like there's nothing. There's no games.
There's no games.
No, there's no next week. Like this now, finally round 6, we got Hawthorn. Like, why did it take that long for us to get to Hawthorn? And I don't know when our West Coast game is, but it can't come soon enough, man.
Well, you probably don't want it to happen right now because they're in form.
True, man. True. Or they've got some fitness happening as well. McGovern, Yo, who had just always injured. They've had a good run at it. So
that's good for them. Someone that doesn't have good injuries is Richmond, who even lost short. To a calf. Man, that's the longest injury list in the AFL for sure.
Yeah. And I think the bad part of it is the fact that it's like key defenders, key forwards, and then it's the best midfielders as well.
Yeah.
Taranto, Hopper,
Prestia.
Prestia. It's like that's like the engine room.
They lost Baker last week, he was back this week, but like Jaden Short plays midfield sometimes.
Now you're relying on like Kane McAuliffe.
Lefau.
Lefau.
Hey, actually, he looks good, man.
Lefau's mad.
He actually looks good,
mate.
He's a clean one grab player.
Yeah, the thing is, he was a Melbourne Storm youth player. I'm pretty sure. So obviously he's he's got that rugby background, which is that's a new one.
That is a new one.
Yeah, basketball background, soccer background. These soccer background kids, mate, they've got great footwork. Whereas the rugby background, it's just like, but he don't argue. He can evade. It's powerful.
Look, he looks like he fits in.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like I don't know, he shouldn't lose his spot.
No,
Tom Mitchell will come back. But he can fit with him because he's not just a hulking forward. He's got athleticism. He can move up the ground. So, yeah, they found one there. Now they just need to,
find a way more,
find a few more, but just get their guys back, man. Yeah, they've got to get their guys back. They're a bottom 4 side though.
Look, I actually think it's a blessing in disguise for them, man. They need an early draft pick. They need some early talent, so they get an opportunity to blood kids throughout the season and rebuild a little bit.
Yeah. Sorry, I want to dial it back for a sec, right? Because I forgot to mention this during the Carlton Adelaide game. I remember we were talking about bottom 4 last week.
Yeah.
And we had said North, West Coast, Hawthorn, right? And then you said Adelaide as well.
Yeah.
You want to revisit that? Do you want to
You think Richmond belongs there?
Yeah, Richmond belongs there.
So put Adelaide fifth. Fifth last.
Fifth last. All right, fair enough.
Now look, Adelaide. Like that was such an important win for them, and it's actually what we probably didn't actually talk about them that much. Yeah. If you want to go back to them for a second, they beat a top 8 team away, which they haven't done in ages. That's it. Well, that was such a dominant Carlton crowd. When Adelaide won, you couldn't even hear them celebrate. Like it was like dead silent. Very impressive win from them. Like to come up with the pressure. They obviously worked on their game and they changed a lot of things. So, but like if they lose that game, their season's over.
Yeah, true.
And so it held on by 2 points. It held on by like a clinch goal in the last 30 seconds, and their season's alive. There's just a little flutter, but they're back. So good on them. And that I think Rankin really promising in the midfield, but like they still got to find form in players like Dawson. He looks terrible.
Yeah, he's get a bit of forward time. It's like
he was playing full forward. Like ew, bro, get your shit together. So they've got some players that need to find some form, but that's a little kind of flicker of life from them.
100%.
Very clutch win. When you look at the context of their season, right?
Oh, 100%. But you got anything else to add before we do the tips for the next week?
Not really, man. Don't get me started on Carlton again because I can keep going.
Yeah, no, fair.
Oh, actually, I do.
Right,
I do. Because you mentioned Carlton, you messed me up.
Yeah, sorry, man.
This is something to the Freo fans, right?
Yeah.
Carlton got dogged by the umpires with the always goal. I don't know if you saw the always situation, but they did a score review where he kicked the goal and then they said it was touched and it clearly wasn't. Have you heard any Carlton supporter complain about it until now? No, because Carlton realises that the umpires aren't the reason that they lost, right? They blame themselves for their own actions. So Freo, just look at that. And look at how a champion team responds to loss.
There you go. Take responsibility. You know what I mean?
Take Jordan Peterson, that shit.
Yeah. If you don't have responsibility,
you
don't have purpose.
That's right.
And then life is really hard.
No Carlton supporter is blaming the always, right? They're blaming their own actions. So Freo,
Carlton supporters don't blame always.
They blame always. They don't blame the always umpire decision.
Okay, yeah.
Always, you lost us that game, you bastard. Can Carlton please get like a small forward that's good? Man, we need one so badly.
Yeah, well, look, I was discussing with Svender's dad earlier because like I never met his dad until just today.
Same, man. He went for milk like years ago and just came back now for the pod.
No, there you go, man. Shout out to him, man. He brought that milk. It was full cream. But anyway, he was saying Lance Collard was meant to be the guy. And now he's not getting a game at Saints, which is a bit
Look,
annoying,
Moya, who we picked up just after him, is like a half forward type, which we need as well because Jack Martin is always injured. So look, he'll fill a need, but like Carlton is linked to Hayward.
Yeah, okay.
But I think who's the Geelong small forward? Stengel. I think he's a free agent.
Ooh. That's an
go for that kid, bro.
100%.
Go for that kid.
What do you got to lose? I think you don't want to offer him too big a contract because I don't think he's
offer him everything, bro. Trade Coops for him. I don't care. We need a small forward. We need a small forward, man. Like I'm over it.
Fair enough. Get Eddie back for you.
We aren't winning anywhere near close to a flag unless we fix up just the potency of our forward line. We've got two great.
See that doesn't sound right, bro. That does not sound right. The potency of our forward line with two Coleman medalists.
Well, I'm about to say
enough.
the two forwards, right? They do so much work, but the guys around them are just useless. They're just useless.
Fair enough. Look, I don't know. I don't think. Look, fair enough. I think this is a luxury at this point.
No, it's not, bro. Always is your best.
Does every position need to be filled with guns?
I think so. Look at the Giants, man. Maybe. They've got guns everywhere. Who's not a gun in their team?
True.
And they haven't even won a flag. Yeah. Lions. I mean, look, the Lions.
They got a pretty strong list.
They got a strong. Yeah. But think about how damaging their forward line is. Think of Collingwood, how damaging their forward line was last year. Bobby Hill won the Norm Smith. It's a small.
Yeah, true. I guess those top teams. So the prelim teams from last year, right? If you look at the small forwards, it's Collingwood, Hill, Elliott. Consider him a small, even though he plays tall.
Hoskin Elliott.
They were playing with. Ginnivan didn't play the final, did he?
He played the granny. Yeah.
He played. Oh, there we go. So Ginnivan, that was their small forward. Strong small forwards. Now they got Lockie Schultz, who's had a indifferent start. But anyway, GWS. Toby Green is, sort of an in-between, medium forward.
But he's a superstar.
Right? provides pressure as a small forward would
Yeah.
anyway. Brett Daniels.
Yeah.
Who else they got? Harvey Thomas has been okay.
Yeah.
Rantham.
I don't think he
He's,
was playing
He wasn't playing last year, but
Bedford.
Bedford. There we go. That's the one. Bedford, Daniels, and Green.
Yeah.
That's sick. And then if that's those three are the smalls, and then it's Cadman, Hogan, and Riccardi as the talls. That's nice. That's a nice balance.
And Brown's very athletic as well.
And Brown too. Yeah, it's a mad team that they got. And who's the other one? Brisbane. Lincoln McCarthy.
Well,
Charlie
they've got
Cameron.
the most damaging.
Yeah, exactly.
They've got the most damaging.
Lincoln Cameron.
And all the other players that run through there.
Yeah, Zach Bailey.
Bailey.
That's crazy. It's crazy. Zorko when he was playing small forward. Now he's going to be a bit more. He's playing half back and he's doing all right.
Yeah, he's 35 and his knees are holding up.
Yeah, he's doing acupuncture these days.
Is he?
He's doing acupuncture.
That's what he should do.
He's gone to Eastern medicine to help him out.
To create longevity in his career.
Yeah, 100%. Look, regardless of that, he's already 35, so
Yeah.
it's like there is longevity in that career.
That's true.
But now he's just got to try.
He
to
wants a
extend
flag,
it.
bro.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. They're the team I feel like they need a flag more than anyone because something about them. I don't know how long this can last for.
Yeah.
I don't know. But actually, we say that, but they've got Ashcroft and they've got another Ashcroft coming.
They do. Like that helps with their future, but
Yeah.
but like the bulk of their guns, like Neil won't be around forever, Dunkley won't be around forever.
Zorko's already towards the
Zork
end.
is McCluggage is probably prime, but he's got a couple more. That's the thing that like is crazy about the Bulldogs. Like I know the Bulldogs, like they won the flag when they were young, right? Young Bont and all these people.
Yeah.
And then they made the grand final against Melbourne and lost. But like you want to capitalize on like the Bonts, like
Yeah.
the dominance, like one of the
Even Libba.
one of the great midfielders of our time. He ain't going around forever either. We're seeing the transition of the new mids, like the Butters, the Rosie, these type of players, like the Sarongs coming in, Walsh, these type of people. They're now the boys.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So-
The more dynamic type midfielders, not necessarily the. But then
It's the
there's
next gen.
Yeah, I feel like there's also the big dudes like the Tom Greens.
Tom
And
Green.
I'm trying to think who else apart from Tom Green, like big, young, big, hulking, quick. They're all sort of small.
He's probably the biggest Hulk.
Yeah, no, because like otherwise the big boys are like Cripps, Steele.
But they're the older gen.
Yeah,
I feel like the younger mids are all kind of bursty midfielders.
Yeah, true.
They're made for the modern game.
LDU's sort of big. He's 186 maybe. He's not like he's got a bit of size to him. He's got a bit of
Yeah.
but he's not a huge dude.
What's like Caleb Windsor's height? Sanders.
He's
these
like a
type-
188, 189 maybe Windsor, but he's not. That's not his game. He's not
Wardlaw.
He's like 182, but
They're all
he plays.
bursty.
But he plays like a big boy though.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you look at the dude's thighs. He's like, bro's huge. He's got tree trunks, man. At
Yeah,
man, like
100%.
20 years old. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're built different, man.
100%.
That's we said it many
100%.
times. Like anyone that comes into the AFL now, you kind of expect them to play and have an impact straight away, which is crazy.
Do you know who the big boy is? Even though he's not particularly tall, Rao. He's a freaking animal, man.
No,
He's burst, but he's
Rao might actually be Superman.
yeah. He's literally he's like a Minecraft like he's like
Yeah,
Buzz Lightyear. You know,
he's got right angles.
Yeah, he's got right angles. Yeah. I could sit and talk about the young midfielders all day, man.
We can,
We
man.
might have to do a young midfielders pod and rank them at some point.
Oh, well, I just put like Goulden. We didn't even say Goulden. Goulden, and all the Sydney players, man.
True, Warner.
Warner's a beast.
Yeah, Heaney.
Well,
Heaney's
Heaney's
old.
old.
Heaney's
He's
old.
old. He's
He's
old.
Weird to say Heaney's old because I feel like he still looks the exact same.
Yeah.
He still looks like a child.
Well, he's just a Sydney player. He's blonde and
Yeah, true
that's
that-
it. And can kick with his left foot sometimes.
True. Yeah.
But yeah, if I was to rank him, Goulden and Butters are my boys, man.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Without like obviously Walsh like is there, but Goulden and Butters, man. Oh, I'd give anything.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about that moment where on Fan Footy, Errol Goulden plays like his first game, and Braden Campbell play well because they're in the same draft, and they dominate. Errol gets like 130 Supercoach or like ranking points, and some Fan Footy guy goes like, "Oh, Errol, I want to be you. I want to be you." And I was like, "Same.
I was like, yeah, true, yeah.
Let's do some tips. Otherwise, we'll be here. We'll be here all night."
I know. All right. So first game of the round is it's not a great game. So Richmond versus Melbourne, easy one.
Yeah,
We'll go
Richmond.
Melbourne. All right, next one. Is this right? No, I'm looking at the wrong one. Sorry, man. I was
Okay.
looking at the next week. So it's actually St Kilda versus the Bulldogs, which is actually a great game.
Yeah.
Like,
Take that back.
Yeah,
Take that back.
No, I'll take it back. Look, it's a great game because it should be close. Not that these are great teams, but so it's at Marvel Stadium. So both of their homes.
Yeah, I
St. Kilda
think
home game.
Saints.
Look, I'm happy to look. We have to make a decision together, so I'm happy to go the Saints as well,
Yeah.
man.
It's whatever, man. One of them will win.
Yeah,
You can guarantee that.
look. There's your guarantee, mate. Bet on it. Adelaide versus Essendon in Adelaide. That's actually should be a close one. as
Imagine
well.
Adelaide wins again and like suddenly they're on a streak. I think Essendon will win this one.
I want to go Adelaide. I do want to go Adelaide.
Oh, let's go Adelaide.
Done. All right. Is that I don't know how we're gonna do these tips, bro. We gotta.
If Adelaide win against Essendon, it makes me feel a little bit better about losing to them. So
Alright,
let's
we'll
go.
We'll
Adelaide.
go with Adelaide then. The next one is Collingwood versus Port at the MCG.
Ooh, I think Port.
Yeah, I don't like Collingwood, so I'm
No,
happy to
neither
go
do I.
with Port as well. I think I've got to organize the tips from Dino so we can get a tiebreaker.
Yeah,
Because otherwise, just one of us has to say it
Has to
confidently, and then the other one has to go, "Yeah, right."
Yeah.
The next one. All right. So Carlton versus GWS at Marvel.
Yeah, look, I think look, Sam Taylor won't play, which is big,
Yeah, true.
but
true.
I think the Giants will be too good. And one of the reasons why I'm not confident is what we mentioned before. If McGovern and Sard don't play, there's no chance we win. Simple as that.
Fair enough. There's not a lot of drive off halfback.
We've got,
Williams
like-
can only play half a game.
Yeah, he can play half a game. He can play a quarter.
Yeah.
We'll have Tsinkota come back.
Oh, that's
Cincota.
hey, what a throwback, mate, to last year.
Yeah, a little Tsinkota.
Yeah, it's nostalgic, you know what I mean? 102k defender, man.
Yeah.
Cincota.
So Tsinkota will come back. Hopefully,
Cincota.
Tsinkota, Chera, hopefully he comes back.
Yeah. All right. So look, I'm happy to go with GWS as
Yeah,
well.
let's just go.
The odds are that Carlton, so $1.80 to $2. GWS.
They'll
So
change
two-
around selection time though.
Yeah, true. All right. Next one is Brisbane at the Gabba against Geelong.
Oh,
At the Gabba.
yeah, I think Brisbane's in form. They played an amazing game. They have to lose, Cats, eventually.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And it must be, it's the law of averages. You got to lose something.
The law
you
of
know what I mean?
averages, bro.
The next one's interesting, but look, West Coast versus Fremantle.
Oh, the Derby.
Yeah, the derby. Look, we're gonna go Freo. We have to, surely.
Yeah, we have to go for it.
Yeah, like they're a solid team, right? But West Coast with after that win, it's a good timing for that win. They've got a bit of confidence coming into this one.
It's good for the crowd.
100%. But look, the West Coast crowd, shout out to them. They're always out and about.
They are.
They
love footy.
Oh mate, they're footy purists.
Yeah.
They'll rock up to every game, celebrate every goal as if it's like, oh, we got a chance here.
They celebrate every goal, so
Yeah.
so just one goal.
They're all wet for Waterman as well. Next one is Sydney versus.
I can't wait for Waterman to kick one goal, like one
3.
next week.
Nah, look, we like Waterman, man. We're Waterman enjoyers, man. At least myself and Dino are.
Yeah, I'm not so
Dino was
convinced, man.
he was really vibing him in the group chat.
He loved him, bro.
Yeah. He said Zerha, but good. Yeah,
That's crazy to me.
Look, I just think they're very different players, personally. I think he's like a key forward version of Zerha. Zerha has more scope for being the mismatch forward who's also a midfielder.
Zerha's way more damaging and dangerous.
Yeah, no, look, I'm with you. I think Zerha's a better player. I think that mold of player you prefer to have.
Dan's just upset at North, so he
Yeah, true.
He's just punching.
Vision's a bit clouded at the moment.
yeah.
Next game is Sydney versus Gold Coast at Sydney.
Well, that's a great game.
that
That's actually
is.
like watchable.
It's actually watchable, yeah.
I think Sydney fresh off the bye will be.
Yeah. 100%. 100% we've got to go with them. And here we go. We're going North against Hawthorn. End of discussion, right?
All right, let's just talk about it a little bit, right? I'm happy
Yeah.
to tip North just to make you happy.
Thank you.
But if there's a team that's going to respond, like we talk about the team that's respond, Hawks have just been lashed in the media.
Yeah.
Pathetic performance. Their midfielders are, have got to have a rocket up their ass.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to come, and they're also going to know that this is our chance, boys. And so is North. North's like,
Yeah,
this is our
yeah.
chance, boys. I don't know.
There you go. Look at that insight right there.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Look, they're two teams that you shouldn't really be paying attention to. So
No.
fair enough that you don't know. To be honest with
I
you,
don't know,
But yeah, look,
Whichever team rocks up on the day will win.
yeah, it's we've been rocking up every week and we still keep losing. Man.
I think. Look,
Like,
Hawks also.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, it wasn't really interesting.
Okay.
I was just rambling.
I'll say the Hawks play one good, like they play a good game, then a bad game, then a good game, bad game. So they're on good game.
They're due for a good game. Yeah, true. And I guess we don't play good games at all. The best game that we played was against Freo earlier in the year. We were up, and then I think we were up by 40 points or something.
Look, you guys can definitely win this game.
Yeah, we can be damaging. I think the thing that we need to take advantage of, right? I don't know who we chuck in the forward line this week, right? Because Salah's had, he don't know if he got a disposal in the end, right? On his debut, poor bloke, right? But look, Larky didn't have a disposal on his first game either, right? So
Cam Simpson didn't have any for the first 3. He played like 300 games.
And he's not
350
and he's not even a key forward.
Yeah. He's a backman.
He's a backman. He was probably a midfielder at the time.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows what position he was playing. But we need to take advantage of the fact that they don't have, like, they got Sam Frost, who's all right. We need to take advantage of that. Him and Sicily and no one else.
It's time for you guys to mismatch someone.
Yes.
I'm sick of North being mismatched on the back line. Time to do the Uno reverse.
Yeah, you know what? Chuck Combin up forward, mate, for a game. Don't do it for Supercoach purposes, but maybe yes, I'm gonna bring him in.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring him in as well. I don't know. Anyway, hopefully, the midfield's stronger. Our midfield is stronger.
Way stronger.
So that's it. Better midfield. Larky he's due for a bag.
We'll see what happens, man.
We'll see. Yeah, nah.
It's the grand final.
It's the grand final next week, guys. We'll be discussing it. With huge anticipation for that one.
I can't wait to dissect that game.
Oh mate, gonna be huge. That's gonna be the entire pod next week. Just Hawthorn versus North.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
we'll see how we go.
But yeah, anyway, thank you for listening.
Thanks, guys.
We'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.
Jake the Snake Waterman has kicked his 6th. He is the poison for Richmond right now. Injecting the venom. I am a wet for Waterman, I tell you that! Wowee!